Hello everyone, this is Karst and welcome back to Disco Elysium. Last episode we wandered off to the western portion of the map, beyond the water gate, and we found ourselves out here by the church area and the fisherman's shacks. I haven't found myself on the dock yet, and I'm kind of curious to know why this is showing a bunch of armed people. So I guess I might find out about that. And I haven't found myself to the amusement section of the docks yet. Nor have I found whatever this island is going to be. So I have quite a bit of exploration still to do. My plan this episode is going to be deal with the church, and then keep going west in search of the missing husband, as well as the missing cryptozoologist. So I hope to find them. But it is already about 9 p.m., I believe. Wait. Yes, 9 p.m. So I really should also consider going back to the whirling, because I should look for the smoker who's on the balcony. Yeah, it's after 9 p.m. now, so I might want to do that first, actually. Let's take a look. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours. Alright, what's going on in here?
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on, get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
I was told there was not enough room in here. Why are you sending the girl out here to freeze?
It's safe to assume this is their leader. Or at least he thinks he is.
Alright, squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
He points his thumb at the lieutenant.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
Fair enough, I can't blame him for that.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
Are you calling me a delinquent, Kim? I can't blame you for that, though. He gestures for you to squeeze in. Oh, wow. Okay. There's definitely enough space in here for the girl. Smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether. That's the way out. Canisters filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled. A pile of nasal sprays. Brand name, Nosafed Ultra. A speaker, the big kind they use for live music. Honestly, this music is pretty good. Alright, let's talk to this guy.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid,
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
and Egghead.
Egghead?
Egg!
Oh, wow. But he has hair. Okay, sure, whatever. The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably anodic music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Wait, how many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
In the pipeline. Okay, why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Uh-huh.
Place is a shithole.
I mean, yes, it is Jamrock.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
Was there something you wanted? Your friend Acel said that there was a problem with the church.
Oh, so you've met her? Good.
He nods.
Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
I've not, actually.
Finally, someone who understands the plight of narcomania. Play it cool. You might have an ally here.
Narcomania. Nod thoughtfully. What exactly are we talking about here?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads. Burnouts.
He angrily spits on a screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that. The word.
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He
How
leans
so?
back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch. Shake my head gravely.
Yes, yes. And the worst part is, they're also spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
Fair.
People just want to spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I'll look into it. Tell me more. Get the task.
All right, man.
Help ravers start a nightclub. He claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
So what's the status of the church? I haven't gotten inside the building yet.
I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. A padlock. It's a temporary fix. Just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
What about the key?
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
Oh, the speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden, cool infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Reaction speed. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies towards you. It's a red check, 72%.
You sense the trajectory
Nice.
of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left.
Catch it.
Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Bask in the glory. Thanks, man. Play it cool.
The speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
And how long have these people been locked in there?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
He shrugs. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death?
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter. There.
I mean, if you lock them all in, they could have run out of supplies. Andre, do you know what involuntary manslaughter means?
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives.
I like how he's gone from 90 to 85 to 80. What does that even mean?
I don't know. What does anything mean, really?
He pauses to think. I keep jamming out to this background theme. I'm quite enjoying it, actually.
Oh, yeah.
He looks at his friend with an expression of profound understanding. Sounds like nonsense.
You're right. It is nonsense. Total garbage. I knew you'd see through it. You're one smart cop.
I get by. Now, where was I with that padlock?
He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop.
Right, other questions.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved?
Well, there's also the machinery.
He leans in for emphasis.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
That's a little concerning.
No, the other one.
Another feeling?
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Fair.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
But you haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
And what was that about something watching you?
Like you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human, as in a ghost. Do you know what he means?
Do I? I don't know.
Non-human means a predator.
Not necessarily.
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crab man.
Well, that's messed up. A crab man.
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls.
Correct. Are you sure that was a crab man?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid?
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab.
There probably is no crab man. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
Can you tell me more about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
So how can you be sure that they're burnouts and dope heads if you've never even seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
This is a below feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Uh-huh. Wow, you can't, but you do. I should add weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers.
All of his guesstimates keep lowering. His confidence levels keep going down. He furrows his brow.
Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from?
He makes little quotation marks with his fingers when he says technology. Alright, let's talk about something else.
Sure. What?
You mentioned some kind of ecclesiastes on the church? Who are these ecclesiastes?
Oh yeah, that's a meteor and name for the founding party. Thought it'd be cool to use it.
If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery.
Before we go on, what do you mean by meteorin?
You know, of Meteo. Concerning Meteo.
Meteo?
Meteo, a country on Muindi. On the Muindi Isla.
Fair enough. He looks at you, squinting his eyes to see if you're kidding.
One of the poorest of the first world nations today, but once a great ancient civilization. Capital, Tilakos by Percentic.
I'm gonna mask it. Now humor me, Andre. What is the founding party?
Come to think of it, I've never really looked them up, you know. I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organisation.
And?
And they have roots in ancient mass society. And they're the custodians of the Pericarnassian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the Innocentic system, no?
So basically the innocents are saints, right? It's just, you know, different titles. Now Andre, in your opinion, would this ancient religious organization who anoints the innocents want a club for anodic music in one of their churches?
Totally.
There isn't a trace of doubt in his voice.
The Pericarnassian Church is about love. And Nordic music is about love. I got love for my Pericarnassian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance.
He violently shakes the tape player as if to see if he can break it.
Love is hardcore.
Unity!
Unity!
Make some noise for my Insulindian posse.
He turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod, as if it's obvious you will now break into dance.
You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the bass, as if testing the waters.
No words, enjoy the beat, nod your head.
Feels good.
I don't quite understand what you're going on about. What's a posse?
Your posse's like your
Nice.
people, man. Like you got your cup posse. You look out for each other and you party together. That's a posse.
And where is
Fair.
your posse, detective? Nothing comes to you. The world is silent.
Sounds like you're just saying some random things. Love, posse, make noise.
Are we?
He looks at you mysteriously.
Yeah!
The one with the large head really enjoys it when his friend gets mysterious. I guess love can be pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah, it can.
He's coming around. You're getting it.
He nods at his friend, then turns to you with a mischievous grin. Well, the church is not in use, right? It's just a building at this moment. I now understand it was lame of me to suggest otherwise. Anodic music is about love, and so is the Pericarnassian Church.
Yeah! Yakokata! The place to be!
He seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Pericarnassianism.
Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew.
His friend forms a fist with a screwdriver still in hand, approvingly so.
I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions?
The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You've got it in you.
I wanted to ask you about this tent full of equipment.
Yes. What?
I see you brought your own water.
Yeah. Good to have, bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure the church even has running water.
And it's distilled, too.
Oh,
He doesn't know what to say.
it's the one they sell at the fuel station.
It's like he's lying to you, my liege. But he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of.
What's with all the Nosafed?
The what now?
Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The Nosafed Ultra. You have a lot of it lying around.
Oh, the old Ultra.
He's like an actor looking to the souffleur for his line.
I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe.
Seems legit. You sound fine to me.
Yes, that's all Nosafed's doing. Without the Noser, I'd be drowning in shit right now.
He nods energetically.
Nosafed is the shit.
Can I have some? I have some nose problems too.
Sure. Here you go, officer. The Noser. Blast away.
He picks one up from the corner and hands it to you. Hate to tell you, but it reeks of sweat in here.
It does, doesn't it?
Told you we have a smell problem.
He picks up a piece of telephone cord and inspects it. It's mixed with a peculiar chemical scent, like laundry detergent.
He sniffs the air, then shrugs. It doesn't take a forensic scientist to guess it's drug-related. They look and act like the kind of guys who've done their fair share.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
Unlike the girl outside, however, the boy's breathing is regular. Their jaws stay put and their pupils aren't dilated, so they're not under the influence currently. At least, not under the influence of stimulants. That doesn't rule out hallucinogens, benzos, some depressants. How do you know all this?
Fair. I mean, I have extensive history with this stuff.
It does.
Told you we
I
have
also
a
smell ether.
problem.
Why?
Ether? I don't smell ether. Do you, Noid?
No.
Level up. There was another thing.
Yes.
Alright, enough with this.
He nods enthusiastically, no doubt a little relieved.
Oh, why is it only 8% chance though? 8% for my logic check. Whoa. Is there a way for me to boost my logic real quick? Litany of contact Mike. Oh, -1 to everything? Okay, 15 minutes only. -1 to logic conceptualization and -1 to drama as well. But no pain, no gain. Push it, make it. I have to hope that this is worth my time. Because there's so many negatives while researching this. Although I might want to apply that after I try a check. Can I even boost this further? I can. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Only 8% though.
Well, first of all, you're a smart cop, and a smart cop like you would understand if something wasn't quite right. So this should be easy.
Uh-huh. And then there's the narcomania.
Indeed. So one of them came upon the abandoned church. They want to turn it into a club for dance music. but agents of narcomania have overrun it. You shudder to think of all the narco they must have already consumed in there. Narco is bad. Plus, and it has to be considered, you can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete. Their story checks out.
I have my doubts. 17%.
Nothing jumps out to you.
Nope.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Really? Because I could swear something's not adding up here.
How about you get
Ow.
out and breathe? The air in the tent is too thick for you to think clearly.
Okay, I'll try
As
that.
always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk to Adele.
The
Acel?
shaggy-haired
Yeah.
girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
Can't say. Gotta ask questions first.
Shoot.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
She's less prone to blurting out "crab man" than the others.
We'll see. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent.
Sounds like a liquor from Resident Evil. Okay.
He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Or a spider splicer, right?
Like
Okay.
a crab, you say?
The lieutenant nods. His face is a stone. What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
She shakes her head.
Come on. She obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
A crab and a banger?
The lieutenant raises an eyebrow.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
I'm gonna make her feel better about herself. You were wrong. I do believe you, even though you were probably high as hell.
Why?
What would you stand to gain?
Nothing. Anyway, what else?
I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
She blows on her chilled fingers. What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
To the cops.
What about you? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
Aha, okay. Maybe I'll ask later about all this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Okay, I'd like to get to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
Just answer the question, please.
Sorry. I just don't tell...
To the cops.
Don't know what makes you think...
Well, there's a quest for it now, apparently. Should I just keep boosting logic? Do I have any clothes that boost logic? Oh, this does logic. Anything else? -1 logic. Another +1 logic. Don't know how I feel about that, but I'll keep these on the bottom. Oops. I'll keep these on the bottom layer, just so I know. Oh, more logic. Looks kind of ridiculous, but that's okay. +2 drama. Anything else that gives logic at this point? No? Okay, I've boosted it quite a bit more. Let's go.
Hi again. So,
Locked.
how are things going?
It's going great.
As always,
So you had a talk with
Oh.
Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and
It's
parts.
good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hand through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Sign?
Yeah, gotta compare. See if we can align.
Interesting.
I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is way off. But I'll see what I can do.
He continues to rearrange his tools. Tell me about the machines you saw in the church.
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked-up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
What's wrong with the supernatural?
Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it, though.
Fair.
The sickest. That's perhaps why it should be researched.
The supernatural, do you think it's real, that it actually exists?
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff.
Why are you called Noid?
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
He picks up some sort of widget.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
Does this mean we need sign matching?
Yes. Further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve this would be by getting us into the church.
Okay, maybe I'll come back later.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
72%. Come on!
A number of things
All right.
don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids, now gather
The
around.
young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective.
But you still are.
Thank you for your kind words, but everyone in here sees that I'm a disgrace to the uniform. I was good enough in this job to be awarded the rank of Lieutenant Yefrader. I could have been captured, imagine that.
What happened?
Egghead looked serious suddenly. Life tore me a new asshole.
That's a real downer.
He shakes his large head. Now, obviously, that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me.
The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong.
Your girl Estelle is high as a kite out there. It must have been hard for you boys to keep sober for this meeting. Yeah, this isn't the makings of a club, it's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs. I'm gonna start slow.
We don't need drugs to be hardcore.
Shut the fuck up, Egg.
So, does Estelle need drugs more than you?
We know she has a problem, man. We're working on it. She didn't exactly have a smooth adolescence.
Underneath, he is furious she ruined it for them. This means trouble for their female friend.
That's not good. Maybe not today, Egg, but you need drugs to get through the days when you're not expecting me.
Climb down from the equestrian monument, cop man. Consciousness is new to the universe. We all have our ways to ease the shock.
Bottom line is, I know.
What exactly is it you know?
He sounds confrontational. This is not the makings of a club, it's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speaker.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
You have no headphones. Wouldn't Estelle need her headphones to spin tape?
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing.
I know you pawned them, likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients.
I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
Where's his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker, you only have one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems.
That Nosafed is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
Likely pseudoephedrine, almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine.
The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
The ether in the air, a useful solvent. Good for getting acting agent out of a solution.
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether.
He smiles nervously. There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
He sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Against the law?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. The optimal way to go about this would be indifference. It begins by you telling him you don't care about any of this.
You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
We'll see. Now speak.
He thinks for a moment, then opens his mouth, but closes it again. Then finally raises his hands.
Things are just way too hard for an entrepreneur in this city. It's not like we're not going to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revershall.
Because we are! We totally are!
I
We
believe
just
you.
got to turn it into a speed lab first.
Of course.
You know, to get our foot in the door.
And why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
They're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
True.
This is it. Judgment time.
Let me look at this real quick. So there are spooky people. Okay. I can ask for a bribe. I can arrest them. I can evict them. I kind of want to go with number 4. Yeah, number 4. Let's do this clean. No speed lab, just a club for the music. Proceed with the club.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportions. His teeth beam in the floodlight.
I knew it.
The would-be leader drops his spiked head between his knees.
It's impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for Nordic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance.
What's that about a fish?
There needs to be a club for Nordic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves, and I can't. We are running out of time.
He's actually more aware of the situation than he lets on.
We
Than
need
the others
a win,
are.
Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
I like his optimism, actually. He's growing on me, this guy. His model doesn't reflect, this at all. But, that's okay. Right, let's call this incident crime prevention, but I have my eye on you.
Okay, we'll try to do it without the drugs.
He raises his head from between his knees.
We'll do a straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but. I swear to God. Okay, Egg?
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
Good. That's it for now.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Yeah. Okay, let me talk
A
to
young man
Egg.
with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Welshi tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret,
Hardcore!
Is it?
It's hardcore!
You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
Okay.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Solve the egghead puzzle? Excuse me? What does that mean?
The young man with the...
This is hardcore.
Say nothing.
Hardcore!
Still say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega. Here
Alright.
comes the night. Back to
Okay.
the heavyweight jam.
Says the young man with the tape player and the large boyadero boots. Lung-shaped trees sprout on his silver belt buckle.
Hardcore! Hardcore! Hardcore to the mega. Internally coherent.
Still say nothing.
All car! All right! Yeah!
Say nothing.
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
He lets out an agonized roar over the feeble-ish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. So hardcore!
Is it though?
He stops dead in his tracks, tilting his head to the side. It is!
What is it? I mean, really?
He tilts his head to the other side like an owl.
Feels like you should reply with the very pinnacle of idiocy here, so that things get totally transcendent. But you haven't gotten there yet, so you don't know what to say.
Okay, so I might find the answer to this at another time. I was thinking that too.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chick's checker. Yeah!
Okay, I was getting there.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
I know Noid has his sign, so what's the deal with Egghead there?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
What's a master of ceremonies?
You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans. He's a performer, gets the people going.
So he's gonna be your DJ, basically.
Interesting, sire. A bit like you, then. An MC for short.
He's also an MC. The main character of the game. How do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to him?
Yeah, sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Correct.
As always,
Do I have any new insight into you right now?
We're close.
Ooh.
True, hard, full, car.
Is
It's
it?
hardcore.
I don't know what to say to that.
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
Alright. Let's go back outside. Now that they're going straight, is there anything new from you?
Hello again.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan.
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth. Which isn't much.
She doesn't seem surprised.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
The lieutenant looks at the ocean, squinting his eyes.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
Fair.
Indeed. She merely tried to omit the truth instead.
Instead, you opted to omit the truth. It's the same thing.
I know. But I knew you'd see through their plan too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them. And I will in the future. I promise.
I hope so.
May I ask? What did you tell them?
Do what you will with your dance club plans, just no drug labs, please.
Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
Okay. Okay, I know I can quick travel to the church. I would like to fast travel to the waterfront. How do I fast travel now? I know fast travel was a thing. It told me I could fast travel. You are here, yes. Okay, good, good, good. Take me to the waterfront. How much time does that take? Like 20 minutes, I think, maybe? I need to desperately and quickly get back up to that room. I need to see if the smoker's chilling in there. I feel like last time I tried this, it was past a certain time, so he wasn't, quote-unquote, available. So I don't want to miss out on it this time. Let me in. Hey, lady. Did I ever talk to you about the lady who was in room 10? I did, I think.
Give me a moment.
Oh, also, let me put on my other gear as well. What was this? Logic -1 authority. I'm tossing it. Okay. I'm actually considering drama over Inland Empire. Thinking about it. It's okay. Mr. Smoker! Oh, balcony's over here. You here? You are here. Nice. I seek to speak. Hello.
Gendarmerie, you found me.
The young man on the balcony gives you a bright smile before taking another drag from his cigarette.
His slender figure is backlit by city lights, its distant streets and motorways flashing like diamonds. It feels like a Friday. He seems to be in a good mood tonight.
Yes, the cleaning lady let us in.
Beautiful.
He replies, smiling. As he looks at you, something sparkles in his eyes.
So tell me, are you here to make things right again?
That's what I'm aiming for, yes.
Beautiful.
He says again. A nearby street lamp casts shadows on his chin, drawing out the slender cheekbones.
I have some good news for you. My Sunday friend is visiting me tonight. I told him about you and he'd like to say hello. Step in. He's already waiting.
He nods towards door number 28. Is this a trap? Also, it's your Sunday friend, but it's Friday night. Supposedly. No, it's not. Today's Wednesday. They repaired the water gate today. I don't know why they say Friday then. By the way, I'm really digging the view here. Point to the city skyline.
That's why I chose this place. Martinez is special, isn't it?
He looks away, his cigarette end glowing in the dark.
Wait. Suddenly you are digging things?
The lieutenant whispers to you, shaking his head. Is it Friday tonight? It feels like a Friday.
Yeah, it does feel like the end of the week. Such gentle weather.
Why would I want to meet your friend?
Trust me, you do.
Very well, I'll talk to him, but first I want to talk to you. I have so many questions.
That's nice, but I don't have anything to tell you. It's my friend you're looking for, not me.
He takes another drag of his unfiltered cigarette and looks around. It's getting dark and the neighboring windows have lit up, one by one. Downstairs, a cat crosses the yard, disappearing into the bush.
Besides, I've got to run.
Where are you going?
He's going to leave you alone again. That's sad. Something tells you you're never going to talk to an individual this cool or mysterious ever again.
But I just found you again.
Just look at it. It's a beautiful night. Who's going to stay in on a night like this?
He gestures towards distant motorways, all leading to Golden La Delta. Only if you promise that we'll talk again. It's important.
Something flutters in the corner of the lieutenant's mouth as you're saying those words.
We'll talk. Just not tonight.
The smoker assures you, brushing his hand through his hair.
Take care, all right?
He says with another disarming smile before slipping off into the night.
And he's gone again. Looks like it's becoming a theme for him.
He's always leaving. Why is he always leaving, Kim?
Who knows, detective? It's a mystery.
He says, turning his face away from you. Why? What's going on? There's something so different about him that I just can't put my finger on.
Different, of course.
His shirt. Why was his shirt always unbuttoned? There's just something so mysterious about the way he talks and moves.
Something so mysterious about the way he talks.
The lieutenant squints his eyes, trying to hold back laughter. Very mysterious.
Very.
What was that?
He's barely holding it together. It's all he can do to keep from bursting out in laughter.
Come on, detective, let's go. We've got a potential witness to interview. His Sunday friend, remember?
He nods at the apartment door before you. Yep. Let's quickly save and take a look. Also, how am I doing? 21. Okay, I'm gonna run around in here and loot everything before talking to you. You're very well dressed, Mr. Sunday Friend. A quarterly business magazine. An empty ashtray. Dishes soaked in a pot. Flyers for underground parties. dates for open lectures at a local university. Fair enough. He's trying to further his education, not a bad thing. An exquisite canopy bed made of metal. Samaran conical hat. Party Dragon silk robe. Drama and electrochemistry. It looks like a yukata, what the hell? Expensive men's perfume lingers in the air. An old photo of the same apartment dated year 01. Buckets of paint buckets of paint on a layer of old newspapers.
Officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia.
The man in business casual removes his cufflinks.
You shouldn't be seeing him in an intimate setting. For some reason you feel this man is your superior.
How so?
Superior, but he's not in the command chain. His hands are clean and well manicured. This is a man who knows the importance of appearances.
My name is Charles Vildrouin, and I am an official with the coalition government. I work for the Institute of Price Stabilité on assignment from Sur-la-Clé.
Okay, so he's a big deal. Got it.
I heard you talking to my friend outside. Very good. Super. I am here to assist you in any way possible. Ask me about the hanging.
Okay.
No, first ask an innocuous personal question to get the interview off on the right foot. Yes, make it clear you're the one setting the terms here. Yeah, let's fuck with him. Who does he think he is? Assisting you?
Yeah, right? Screw this guy for trying to help me. How dare he do that? Point at the bed. Show him the silk robe. Show him the hat. We'll get to that. Right after you show me the story behind the black Samaran hat.
I got it from the head of the Samaran delegation on my trip to Lomantang. It's made from a special charcoal-colored bamboo. It's an emblem of the formal normalization of our diplomatic relations.
He's alluding to the decade-long war of independence, while deftly brushing aside the complex causes behind the conflict.
So he's very good at deflecting. Got it.
That's really all I can tell you about it.
He forms a little rooftop with his fingers. Cold air sweeps in from the balcony.
That didn't work at all.
No.
What was that? You were supposed to fuck with him, not compliment the decor. The lieutenant takes out his notebook and nods to you to proceed.
You actually witnessed the lynching?
I'm sorry to say I did, officer.
The man gives a solemn nod. I don't want to become a child and be like, "Hey, this is what I'm for." Start from the beginning if you don't mind.
Officer, it's very difficult to describe what I saw that night. It was so surreal to me, like in a play.
He holds out his hands and blossoms his fingers, like a drama teacher setting the scene.
What do you mean, like in a play?
The lieutenant is already scribbling down notes.
It was just so strange. I could barely comprehend what was happening. I was on the balcony when it happened, getting some fresh air. I remember that first they came in, carrying what looked like a body. And then I saw all the surrounding windows go dead, one by one. That's when I understood. I should not be seeing this.
Sounds like the victim was unconscious, or at least incapacitated. Well done, detective.
How many of them were there?
I couldn't tell you exactly. Less than 10. Maybe 8?
The lieutenant sends you a sharp look at the mention of that number.
Were any of them huge? Like 200 kilograms huge?
That's a giant you're describing. No, they were all quite human, as far as I could tell.
Did any of them look like drummers?
Drummers? Why, no. But then, I don't know what a drummer is supposed to look like.
I think we can drop the drummer angle. That was my bad.
The lieutenant says this impatiently. What happened next?
I went back inside.
Yes, back inside. Keep yourself safe from the killing.
Were you able to see anything from inside?
Officer, the yard was pitch black. There was nothing to see, but I could still hear their voices. They were threatening to kill that poor man.
Were they men? Women?
All men, I presume. But again, I couldn't see very clearly.
But we are fairly certain the lady driver was present.
The lieutenant flips through his notes. Are you sure at least one of them wasn't a woman?
It's possible, officer, but I cannot say with certainty. It was very dark, you must remember.
What ethnicity were they? How the hell would he see that in the dark? I don't think that's relevant. What the... Oh, what were they?
I believe they were mostly white, though I believe I saw 2 Areopagites among them. And I am quite certain that one spoke with a Mesk accent.
Okay, the accents help at least. What happened next?
Well, that's the strangest part, officer. Nothing happened. It was oddly quiet for a public lynching.
What do you mean nothing happened? They lynched a guy.
Eventually, their shouts died down, and that was all. There were no gunshots, no celebratory shouts, no anything.
Why didn't you call the RCM?
You're right, of course. That is what one is supposed to do in such circumstances. I was simply in shock.
The man wipes his glasses.
I'm afraid I don't have anything else to add.
About what time was all this happening, approximately?
All I can say is that it was late.
So let me get this straight. You didn't actually witness the hanging itself, did you?
No, I didn't see the corpse until the following day.
Those were all my questions. Thank you for your time.
Of course, anything I can do to assist the RCM.
What's an official like you doing in Martinez?
The coalition is only looking out for the price stability. Inflation is a killer, like a heart disease blocking the normal circulation of the economy. It must be controlled.
He raises an index finger.
The economy impacts the entire international community, which is why it requires international oversight.
Okay, but what are you doing here in this apartment?
Well, I'm renovating it. It is an interesting project. The building used to be a 12-story skyscraper before the cannons took the top 4 stories off. This, of course, happened when the coalition forces landed here. You could say I'm undoing some of the material damage the international community caused when we arrived here.
So you're some kind of bureaucrat?
Yes. As I said before, I am a commissioner from Sur-la-Clé working for the Institute of Price Stabilité. This is one of the main projects of the Moral Intern.
He glances at his watch.
Wait, there isn't actually an Institute of Price Stability, is there? Or maybe there is. God, it's impossible to understand whether someone from the Moral Intern is joking or not.
What is this international community?
La Communauté Internationale is what Revacholians colloquially call the coalition. In other words, the nations that stopped the disaster of the revolution.
And what do I call the coalition?
Your employer, technically speaking. The governing authority of Revachol. The RCM is but one part of this provisional administration.
And what is the price stabilité?
It is the most important thing.
That doesn't tell me anything.
It's the central goal of any sound monetary policy. Maintaining the price stability is essential to maintaining high levels of economic activity, which is essential for maintaining high levels of employment.
Fair enough.
Which is essential for maintaining the social stability.
Basically, it makes sure the price of bread doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
Précisément. Too much inflation, bread becomes too expensive. Too much deflation, it becomes too cheap for bakers to produce. That's why the Institute of Price Stabilité works to keep inflation just below 2%.
Below 2% of what?
But not too far below, no. Too below is also bad. Below, but close to 2%.
You're not answering my questions at all.
The coalition believes in the importance of informing the public about the benefits of the price stability. Transparency is one of our principles. Would you like an informational pamphlet?
Okay, sure. Give me a leaflet.
A sound monetary policy is essential for addressing uncertainty. Stability is the raison d'être of the Moral Intern. It's the reason why I identify as a moralist. But oh, I don't have my leaflets on me today.
Oh, that sucks.
That's too bad. You can always call our information line. Making information available is part of the Moral Intern's commitment to transparency.
I've heard about this moral intern before, but I want to know more.
It's the International Organization for Moralists. Hence, Moralist International. The Institute of Price Stability is just one of its many mind babies, as is the coalition.
Oh, turn to Kim. So we're actually working for the moral intern. That doesn't seem so bad.
There are more nefarious powers to work for than the moral intern.
True. Turn back to Sunday Friend. Are you a moralist? He just said that he identifies as moralist.
But of course.
Am I a moralist?
Well, do you value freedom? Do you believe in a normal, stable world governed by democratic values?
Turn to Kim. Lieutenant, are you a moralist?
Me?
You've managed to catch the lieutenant off guard, but only for a moment. He quickly recomposes himself.
I'm a lieutenant of the RCM, dedicated to maintaining law and order in Ravachol.
A very moralist answer.
A man nods.
The lieutenant is practiced in the art of putting on a show for one's superiors.
Fair. Martinez doesn't seem very normal or stable to me.
Martinez? No. Martinez is something else.
What about the rest of Revachol? Is it a part of the normal world?
Revachol is generally difficult. It's led by an interim government, which means it hasn't yet achieved full democracy. But they are working towards it. You're all doing very well here, relatively speaking.
He gives you an approving nod. It's like every time I'm talking to people, I'm choosing option D, none of the above. Is that moralism?
Is this option D usually the most reasonable answer?
Yes, everything else is super extreme. It's like I'm living with a bunch of lunatics.
Sounds like you're a moralist indeed, my friend. Welcome. Moralism is all about compromise and achieving the achievable. It's pragmatic, realistic, and level-headed. An ideology for doers. Are you a doer, my friend? It looks to me like you are. Now, enough of this delightful political interlude. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Tell me about Sur la Clef.
What's there to say? Sur-la-Clé is a modern, urbanized country that measures very high on the Human Development and Freedom Index. Mostly, though, it's known as the executive heart of EPIS. Moreover, it is a great sponsor of less emerged countries. Revachol is only one of its many darlings whose progress it supports and cherishes.
Darlings? That can't be an official designation.
And what makes Revachol Sur la Clef darling?
Because a great percentage of Revachol's culture hails from Sur-la-Clé. Its
Sur la
language,
Clé, my
its
bad.
people, its cuisine even. Or at least in the downtown La Delta area.
Jamrock and other parts of the international zone have been mercifully spared of Sur la Clé's love for meatballs and mashed potatoes.
Okay, enough business. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you wish, officer.
Can you tell me more about your friend?
Ah, my friend. My friend is a good young man. His family immigrated here from Kedra, and life has not been easy for him. But he understands the importance of education. He has taken his future into his own hands, and that's all that matters.
What's Kedra?
Kedra is a candidate member of APIS. But, between you and me, their potential membership is a more contentious issue.
What do you mean?
That it's never going to happen. They entered negotiations in 21, and it's been pending ever since.
What's this EPIS thing you keep talking about?
EPIS is a very special program developed by the Moral Intern to support certain Occidental nations. It began as a unified system of weights and measures, which proved to be a wild success. Nothing but kilograms and centimeters as far as the eye can see.
God, yes. Sweet standardization. The backbone of rationality and commerce.
Fair enough.
It was such a wild success that we expanded it into an economic union for the processing of steel. Another success. And between you and me, the Moral Intern feels emboldened by this success. Emboldened to take EPIS to the next level.
Okay, but like, what does it stand for?
Why, it stands for progress and stability, like the Moral Intern as a whole.
No, what do the letters stand for?
It's been such a wild, extraordinary success thus far. We are very excited to take it to the next level.
You don't even hear the words I'm saying, do you?
A supranational political alliance. The United States of Occident.
Is it going to be like this place here?
You mean Revachol? No, it's going to have transparent democracy.
Is Revachol going to be part of EPIS?
It's one day going to be a candidate member of EPIS.
Candidate member.
Except that candidate members never become full members, do they?
Didn't you say that candidate members never become real members?
No. Candidate members do become members. Why do we even have the whole system in place if they don't? It just takes time. Time and evaluation.
So nothing within our lifetime.
But we were talking about my friend here, not politics.
He chuckles gently. True. How did the two of you become friends?
How did any of us become friends? Bad things happening on the Indian Isola? Oil platforms ablaze in the night? Civil wars lasting for years? Finally, the international community is forced to step in.
What are you talking about? No one becomes friends that way.
Au contraire. It's how millions of people end up where they are. Meeting the people they meet. It's how I came here. And my friend, too.
You still haven't told me who he is.
Sorry. Who?
The man throws a quick glance at his watch. Your friend. The smoker on the balcony. We were just talking about him.
But I told you, officer. He's a bright young man here to pursue his education. Education is the foundation of our future, especially the arts. It is a cornerstone of our civilization.
Fine, but what's his real name?
Officer, you have to understand. I can't give you his personal information. I'm sure you have your own methods and databases, right? Please don't put me in this situation.
So all you can tell me about him is that he's here to study the arts?
He's deeply enmeshed in the study of the fine arts, yes. He's
Which
a
arts?
truly free spirit. He likes all the arts. Perhaps graphic design, printmaking, who knows? The world is open wide for a talented youth like him.
And what are you doing in his apartment by yourself?
I'm just enjoying the view.
The man smiles, nodding at the window. What view? It's dark outside,
Listen.
he says, raising his hand.
The baby is crying in the neighboring apartment.
Someone's baby is crying.
No, listen.
He says again, looking outside.
The Insulindian Bay.
What about it?
This place used to be a luxury accommodation before the revolution. Apartments, of course, were much bigger then. A few walls have been added here and there, leaving some of the tenants without a private bathroom or a kitchen. But the million real view stays. You can't take that away.
He knocks on the balcony door, his face mirrored in the darkened glass. I was asking about your friend.
My friend comes and goes. I'm sure you'll see him around. He's a busy bee.
A busy bee? What an odd choice of words.
I had something else in mind.
I'm all ears, officer.
Thanks, I've got all I need.
A moment, officer.
Yes?
Do you have everything you need from me? I'm afraid we won't have the chance to speak again once you leave.
I assume he's going to be leaving to go back to work. Hold on, why can't we talk later?
It's against diplomatic best practices for an official in my position to be discussing murders with local militiamen. And I'm pressed for time. After you leave, I should be leaving as well.
That's not the real reason he's so apprehensive. Men in his position shouldn't be seen loitering around in underprivileged young men's apartments in the middle of the night.
Yeah, fair. I mean, we kind of know why he's here, right? They've obviously got a thing together. That's... well, okay, I'm assuming, but it's a pretty safe assumption, I bet. Thanks for the heads up, and my work here is done.
Of course. I'm glad I could help.
Alright, bye. I've seen everything else in here. Alrighty then. I guess I can go back to the Whirling and talk to Gart because I have a new animal or stuffed animal for him. Let's go. I feel like I still haven't gotten anywhere with the lady driver. I still need to find out more about her. Victim set 2, run the number, ask another, send it to processing, get 2 signatures. Okay, yeah, I've already forged them. Ask the scab leader. I will do that eventually. File and pan, take the stuff. Yep. Yeah, so what about the female, what about the lady driver? I'm not sure. I kind of forgot where I'm supposed to go for that. Any luck on this?
Just an ordinary wall.
Nope. Hey Gart, you want this bird? I think you'd be happy with a replacement. I'm sorry I broke your other one, and also your fence, and also your room, and also threatened all your clients. What's this? There's something down there. Okay. Do I hear a horse? What the heck was that? Time to mail
The
it.
dented yellow mailbox greets you with its graffito and bullet holes in the front.
I knew we'd get to use this mailbox for something.
Yes, for sending mail.
Let's drop the white envelope into the mailbox.
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. It lands with a soft thud on what sounds like a couple of letters. About a week's worth of mail as collected in there. They'll empty this very soon.
Good.
Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that slug, Everard. You know he's going to play you somehow.
Agreed.
All right, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
The lieutenant turns towards the industrial harbor. Let's go. Also, since I've bumped my perception up a lot, I kind of want to go and look at the body again as well. Still can't deal with this. Yep. Hello, fridge, with the dead body inside.
The bear's eyes are still
Locked.
glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
I need empathy and more perception. I've got so much perception already, though. I mean, I'll level it. How is it still locked? How is it still locked?
The bear's eyes are
There you
still
go.
glowing red. It's guarding over.
72% chance. Do I have anything? Perception. Here's more perception. That's good. Composure, savoir-faire. Any more that I can boost? Anything else I can do here? Reaction speed, electrochemistry, visual calculus, empathy. Empathy seems good. I'm also noticing a few, well, these both are conceptualization shirts. Okay, let's just roll with this for now. What did I change? My boots. Yeah, I changed it away from the disco shoes. Alright. Let's give it a try.
The bear's eyes are still glowing
83%,
red.
come on.
It's guarding over. Your arms
There you
reach
go.
out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Ew. Squeeze his nose.
You pick it between your fingers. The mass is even larger than your nose. Very porous, somehow. Like it's about to pop. Keep crawling, lest you break it.
Fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
That's good. Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
I'm trying not to visualize this too much. The descriptions are very, how do I put it? Very effective. They're very detailed. And the reason I'm pausing between is I'm trying to take it in and I'm kind of imagining it in my head and it's kind of like, ugh, I hope I have gloves on. I don't really. I don't think I have real gloves on, but alright. Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death.
Oh dear.
Pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate.
What are we gonna find?
You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
A hole.
An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Say abrasion collar.
Abrasion collar.
The lieutenant looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper. Touch it with your finger, gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put my finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Thank you.
You've seen the drawings. You've studied them.
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Fair enough.
All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Yikes. I shouldn't punch a hole, I should wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper.
Oh, disgusting.
Until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin.
Ooh, 83%, I can still fail. I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
He searches his pockets for something. Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull. In the encephalus. Knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
Was he shot? Because that changes a lot, actually. It sounds like a bullet wound, currently.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Yeah, 92%, precise spot of exit wound. If there's an entry wound and an exit wound, he probably got shot and it's a tiny hole, so it's probably a bullet. Do it! Here we go.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
If I whisper, I might ruin it. I should just go ahead and do it. Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. I'm actually so happy right now that we found this. Because I'm kind of like, it changes so much of the story too. Now I'm kind of like, wait, none of your stories add up. It adds an extra layer to the mystery that we've been trying to solve. So I'm really happy that this is there. It complicates the narrative and I'm all for it. Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Just keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
He underlines the injury forcefully. Say nothing, just nod.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Yes, that's right. You should amend that. So the ligament didn't kill him. It was the bullet. They hung a dead body.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation.
Yeah, and also, if... I mean, they could have knocked him out and hung him while he was unconscious, that is true. But I'm kind of like, if someone is hanging, they're going to struggle, generally speaking. But we've already been over that he definitely didn't.
There have been other signs too. Small
Ooh.
details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
Secret task complete. Find the bullet before you get fooled. Fooled by whom? Fooled by what?
We almost fell for it, he thinks. Almost.
Almost.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
True. Maybe they just shot him while they hanged him? No, but they would have heard the gunshot, the people in the yard. They said it was too quiet.
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it doesn't explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
True. Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Unfortunately, I don't plan to actually stay in the Whirling tonight. I plan to stay in my little shack. Maybe there is a bathroom in there, right? I don't know if there's a shower though. Maybe the bullet holds more answers?
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
Agreed.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
That's okay, it's already midnight. You'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this.
True.
I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
He looks you in the eye. Validation. I am just glad that Kim agrees with me, and he values my work as a detective.
The word lingers in the air of the basement. Far away, ice cream makers are buzzing, and the sea wind blows outside. Detective.
Nice.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Yeah, I'll do that. Who are you, dead man? I kind of want the empathy, though. Let's close the door for now. Also, since you're still here, before I send you to bag the corpse, I could do an empathy check. I should probably boost other things, though, right? I feel like I should. Like, hand-eye coordination would probably be useful at some point. Because it's only level 3. Electrochemistry, I disregard that. I'm not too worried about it. But volition maybe as well. Yeah, hold myself together. Like, a lot of this stuff I do require. I wish I could just straight up boost some of this stuff, but no such luck. Alright, let's look at the bullet. Where is it? Nice. The bullet mushroomed out on impact. It now looks more like a fanciful jacket button than something that could pierce skin, flesh, and bone.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
The lieutenant steps closer. I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim.
Find the murder weapon.
In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. The core is lead. The brass jacket probably didn't cover the entire bullet. Otherwise, the softer metal wouldn't have expanded quite like that.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a soft point bullet with a lead core and a brass jacket close to 8 millimeters in diameter.
Okay. Jacketed means it would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, and not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Revachol West.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary and jacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Agreed.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
I'm seeing this, though. It's a white check. Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
So the reason my check is so high for this is because I've already found the other rifle, which is actually not too far away from here. It was in the little alcove there. I have the name of the antique rifle. The encyclopedia said that this came from a breech loader, and I have the full bullet spec. So let's go, 92%, come on. I can't fail again.
A rifle.
Okay.
Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique, or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
The lieutenant jots something down in his notebook. I think I know where this came from. Dangle the bag thoughtfully.
Okay. And?
The shot was probably from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Revachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Worth what? Getting shot?
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier.
Fair enough.
But back to the investigation.
Yeah, that's true. I should have picked the other option that was available, but it is what it is. Seems like we're looking for an antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself. Okay. And? An antique. Sure, there's some new...
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced
Makes
by
you
the
consider
Morris
every shot. I
International.
like it.
Imagine if everyone...
Yeah.
Cops. But back to the investigation.
Yeah, something mysterious is afoot with this antique bullet type.
Mysterious. Okay. Either way, we'll know when we find the gun.
The bullet has nothing more to say. Okay, let's boost empathy one more time and hope for the best. Answer me.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the...
I boosted empathy just now. Why are you not...
The bear's eyes are still glowing red.
Why did it not unlock? That's a waste of a slot. Alright, well, I'm just gonna have to accept the fact that I wasted a point. It be what it be. I am going to use the litany of Contact Mike. I know not if it's worth my time, but I will internalize it. I will also internalize... 5 hours for authority. White Murning. Go for it. I don't know what bonuses I'm going to get from them. I just have to hope they're good. Okay. So, that was actually quite impressive. Impressive detective work. It's opened up the entire investigation so much farther than I was expecting. For a moment, I thought that was Lena and her husband or something. Hey.
Can I help you?
Yeah, guard. I found a new bird for the whirling. Give them the ruffed grouse.
What is this thing?
The man takes a stuffed bird. I wanted to apologize for breaking the great skua by bringing you this ruffed grouse.
Okay, well, this is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy.
He inspects the bird somewhat suspiciously, then mellows.
I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
He hesitates.
People just don't know how to accept gifts, especially taxidermy. He likes it. He likes the bird. It solves his broken bird problem.
I feel good about our work here today. It's all about the little things, like bringing people random stuffed animals.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not, Kim.
It's not actually about that.
Okay, he did like
He
it.
liked it.
Alright, bye. It is now midnight. My options dwindle for things to do in this evening. But, I mean, realistically, I can actually just go back out, I guess, to the church, and then wander around until, like, 2 in the morning, I guess. Because I might as well do some more investigation work, right? So I can walk around a bit more, see if I find anything. I should probably take off these ridiculous glasses. I still have my perception shoes on. Anything else? No, I think that was it. Alright. I wish the map was actually a little bit more detailed than what it is, but that's okay. Was this nothing? A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome. Okay, I guess I'm reaching the boardwalk area then. I've been here before. Alright. I could try out the church, but I'm not quite sure if I want to explore it at 12:30 in the morning. It sounds a little creepy. Oh, what's this? You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes. Fair enough. Let's just check the boardwalk. See if there's anything worthwhile out here. Hello? There's a back entrance there. Bars cover the long, dusty windows. I should probably still have the tear bag out, because I might find more recyclables.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D, a slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
The lieutenant raises the collar of his bomber jacket. Turn away. I'll take that. Another power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. The fence blocks the path. No way on from here. Okay, well, what if I use a tool what if I use my priors? Thank you. Very nice. Oh, are those the cryptozoologists? I think so. That might be them. The way he's dressed. Can I get down here? I can. It's kind of funny if I find him in the middle of the night, but I'm all for it. Can you get back to safety, please? Your wife is very worried about you. I'm worried about you. Tiny cages, carefully constructed. The soggy logs smell of ignition fluid. Still, they won't light up.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
Wait, what is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
Huh? These heavy military blockades are riddled with bullet holes, crumbling. It's almost impossible to get a fire going this near the ocean. Thank you. Oh, hello. Thank you. No boat in the boathouse today. I'll take that all, thank you. Oversized superstar glasses. The boathouse is shoddily constructed. A strong breeze might knock it over. Thank you. Ancient paint is peeling off the roof of the shaded bench, covered in rust. The sign says, Entree interdite. I cannot understand what that means.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's definitely gone down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Why not?
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Okay, I'm gonna walk away for now. Let's see if I have any visual calculus increasing items. That's minus visual calculus. I need plus visual calculus. Esprit de corps, interfacing, etc., etc. Nope, 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 nope. Oh yes, this is plus. What else? Also plus. Just double checking. Okay, that's pretty much all I'm gonna be able to roll with, so...
A scattering of bullet holes is spread
72%.
across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Let's do it.
A row of
Nice.
ghostly shades stand facing the wall.
Oh.
There are many of them.
Execution.
A dozen at least. Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. It's dark. Very dark. Faint lights flicker at the edge of your vision. It's rare for the order to be carried out at night. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is this?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Look at the people against the wall.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background.
Well, yeah, of course. It's just some bullet holes. We're getting all this information just from the bullet holes against the wall.
Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Collateral damage on the path toward normalcy and progress. Such is your belief, officer. Maybe you should change it. They were praying, screaming.
Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Kim, who was who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution.
At first, the lieutenant doesn't say a word. He just stares at the wall.
Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
I guess it doesn't matter who was who in the end. It's all bad.
Or maybe...
You mentioned coalition forces. Could it have been them against the wall?
Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Goodbye.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Wonderful. What lovely imagery for me. Alright. So let me put on... No, I don't want the disco blazer. Give me this. What else did I replace? Oh, I just put on the glasses, which I don't want either. Because I want that drama, baby. Alright. An old ticket taker booth. No longer in operation. People paid money to park here? No one would pay now. Very true. Can I not go around this any faster or what? Thank you. I see something here. Random alcohol. That's fine. I can get another story out of the bum by the fishing village. The door is not only barred shut, it is inaccessible. Found Peepo. +2 logic, -1 perception. I think that's a decent trade-off for the time being. I'll put on the Peepo. Oh dear, I don't like the Peepo. But +2 logic. Can I balance it out? Do I have any, like, plus logic, or plus perception minus logic? Something like that? I don't know how I feel about wearing this in front of Kim. No, apparently not. Okay, that's fine. I'll just roll with this for now. Oh, now I have to run all the way around again? Oof. But hey, at least I found the scientists. Or, sorry, the cryptozoologists. I'm so glad. I hope that's them. Oh, hello. This section of the coast has not been used in decades. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm like 90% sure this is the guy, so let me talk to the assistant.
Hello, I'm Gary. How do you do, officer?
Gary the crypto-fascist?
Yellow man.
Oh no.
Officer.
Oh no. That's how he greets Kim? Oh, I'm sorry, man. You gotta leave.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook. Yellow man. Interesting. This is something to ask him about, after a little probing first.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
He quickly changes the subject. He sounds like he's got a very nasally quality for him. He just makes me think of a mosquito. He's a bloodsucker. Not a lover of the great outdoors? Yeah, more of a city boy too.
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you've been tempted to drink.
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revacol.
Revacol? His gaze shifts to the pile of soggy logs at his feet.
He pronounces Revacol
with
a hard K, unlike other people.
You said Revacol?
I like to pronounce it the hard way. The old way. The Vespertine way.
He nods solemnly.
The stupid way.
Also true.
He winks at you, trying to relay some hidden message, inviting you to mispronounce it too, perhaps. It's odd. It's a secret rite. A very fringe nationalist handshake, probably.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought too. He's trying to see if I'm on the same wavelength as him, if I share the same opinions and radical thoughts, etc., etc. Is this your mug? Hold up the yellow man mug.
My mug? Why would you think that?
Why do you think?
His eyes widen at the sight of the mug. He's seen it before, right?
You said yellow man. That's not something many people go around saying. I can see that you recognize it. It's in your eyes. You look like the kind of guy who might have a collection of mugs like this. Home, in his colonial mug collection.
How do you mean? Forgive me, officer, but we've only just met.
I'm pretty sure that apartment is his then, because he's got that flag in the background of his profile picture avatar.
He is trying to avoid lying to you outright, in case you really have been to his apartment. He's trying not to look afraid, because that would be incriminating. Yet, he is.
You're acting kind of suspicious. Did I mention the mug was found at the scene of a lynching?
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and I am very sorry, officer.
He pauses. I had no idea that this was gonna link back to that apartment. Okay. This is not where I thought this was going at all. I was out here for him. I was out here for this man. To help find Lena's husband. But now this guy has become a prime potential suspect or collaborator.
You're not going to find me, are you?
I can find him. True. I just want information, Gary.
Whew. Thank you. You won't regret this. I won't use another man's property to dump my garbage ever again.
He's visibly relieved.
I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Oh no, that's what his voice sounds like? Alright.
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
How did you get into the trash container?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services. CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everyone's trash?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Hemians run it like a mob.
He says, bowing shamefully like a fallen knight.
I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows and looks up.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Gary, did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged behind the whirling in rags, into that trash container?
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that.
He raises both hands. Do explain.
I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Yes. What happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly.
He changes his mind mid-sentence.
Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
The lieutenant remarks drolly.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before. But
What's that strange sound?
What sound?
That clinking I just heard when you moved.
Really?
He fans his arms out slowly, and this time his motions are soundless.
There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
He probably has armor or something.
The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned.
You wouldn't know anything about the victim's missing armor, would you?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing. There's something going on here. You should observe him more closely after this topic is concluded.
Okay, let's move on for now.
I hope I could help your investigation, in my small way.
He's visibly relieved it's over.
Don't be so relieved yet, Gary. This bad cop may have been in your apartment, admiring your mug collection. Perhaps a little intimidation?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot I want to look at. Do you know anything about the man hanged behind the whirling in rags?
I told you everything I know, sir. I'm truly sorry for the mug, but I have nothing to do with that.
He shifts uncomfortably in his clothes.
He's not feeling too comfortable in his own skin. Odd, I'd say.
Correct.
Uncomfortable shifting around doesn't make him the killer, though. It's something else.
You are surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next racist will be a really good one?
Yes.
Well, this is that racist.
Are you, Gary? Are you a racist?
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact.
The lieutenant is a native of Revachol.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change the subject, okay?
He flashes an impenetrable smile. Are you a cryptozoologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
There probably is a follow-up to this, but you can't think of any. Doesn't matter. Waste of time anyway. Gotta keep moving.
So, Gary, You live nearby, in an apartment in Martinez. Point in its direction.
Sure do, officer.
His eyes narrow slightly. He's wondering where this is going.
And you're a big Man from Heimdall fan?
How?
The color drains from his face. Mr. Everard Clare. Oh no, that might be too much. Oh, I have to reveal that I've been in there now. Mr. Everard Clare thought it necessary to unlock your apartment.
Mr. Clare unlocked my apartment?
No, I did, per his request.
So you work for Everard Clare? Officer, please tell him we're good. No, tell him I'll make it up to him.
He realizes what's going on and changes his tone.
What have I done? He'll send the muscle after me.
The man looks around, whispering. He makes sure no one else hears you talk.
As he lowers his tone, he hunches his back.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but he doesn't like you.
I was probably talking too loud in the whirling the other night. About some theories. Stupid. Shouldn't have run my mouth loud like that. I won't do it again. If there's anything I can do to assist you, or the Union, just ask, okay? I'll try to help if I can.
He looks around nervously.
This scared him proper. He's positively melting from fear. Has to prop himself up with a lot of anger to keep it together.
Good.
The weather vane has turned. He cannot be unturned.
The lieutenant remarks with a smirk.
He clearly liked his squirming. He may even have changed his mind about the whole door-opening operation.
Why is he shifting around like that? Analyze Gary's composure. 72%.
That shirt
Nice.
looks very uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
His massive musculature? No, I don't think that's it. Something worn underneath it?
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
Nice, so he has the chess piece. I want that from you. I see that you're a connoisseur of high-quality combat gear.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once.
He sighs heavily and unbuttons the shirt.
I was ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
You see gleaming white ceramics shine through. A thin layer of interlocking plates covers his gaunt torso.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to admit the truth.
Good.
This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary, what's going on?
Quiet, Morel. I'll get to you sooner or later.
Later, Morale. I've got apologizing to do.
No, you've got explaining to do.
Why did you lie to me, Gary?
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I saw you. But
He says this, staring at nothing in particular.
The hell, Gary? You in trouble?
I'll explain later.
He doesn't muster up the strength to yell. Give me that armor, now.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat. But so light to hold, like a bag of cotton.
Why did you really put those clothes in the trash?
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling.
He looks at his feet.
So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here.
He swallows.
Only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
His lips start quivering.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
The lieutenant jots something down in his notebook.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. CLI officers commanded the suzerain's navy. most of them sided with the king when...
He shakes his head.
They were thoroughly conservative men, he realizes suddenly. It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
Do you know who killed the hanged man?
I always thought it was the Union, but I sure as hell won't go around saying that anymore. You have my word. I don't know, and I won't be running my mouth on this subject anymore.
This is all he knows.
Okay, are we done here, Gary?
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again. I won't mess with Mr. Clare either. You have my word.
He looks around, relieved of some burden, his mouth still quivering. Thank you for your cooperation.
The litany of contact Mike.
This is possibly the dumbest thought I could possibly have.
5,000 to 1 rank outsider.
Ooh.
No one saw
but
it coming.
It's kind of shitty.
The mantle of a game changer demands intangible qualities. Fights are not won. You're thinking instead of doing detective work right now. Fights are made, blow by blow. Let's take it, Mike to the Mikey. Some low-intensity part of you has entered a sports cliché-driven fugue state, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Also, Mike knew what it took to win. He just wanted it more.
Okay, well, all physique white checks are unlocked. That's kind of not useful. At all. I, regret it. I want to drop it already, but that takes up a skill point. No! Alright, it's fine. And now, finally, the cryptozoologist himself.
Here we go. Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Hello.
His self-conscious enthusiasm renders his movements ungainly. He looks like your understanding of a scientist.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself. You must be Morel, the cryptozoologist?
To what do I owe the pleasure?
That's sarcasm. He takes no pleasure from your appearance.
You don't seem to be happy to see the RCM.
Oh no, it's alright. I'm just busy. What's this about?
He glances at his cylinder. Lena sent me. She's been really worried about you and is waiting for you to get back.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the AL-81.
The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it. I'm gonna withhold the whole story. Why would I tell him? Let's tell him. Whatever. That was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage. But it's fixed now. You can go back.
You broke the water lock with a motor carriage? But there was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
No, you see, I jumped over the canal in my motor carriage, tearing through the Samaran Butter sign, which then fell into the canal, blocking the gates. I used the pawn shop as a launch ramp.
Why?
He spreads his arms in disbelief. Yeah. It was an experiment to gauge the Capri 40's aerial performance. I'm something of a gentleman scientist.
Scientist? Yes, okay. But you said the water lock is fixed now, so we can go back.
He quickly comes to terms with it.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
He turns to you. Well, the thing is, it's the middle of the night, so she's definitely not in the whirling now.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there?
True.
And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sorts of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defenses that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex.
Okay.
But I cannot describe how these defenses work, much less how they evolve, without studying a live specimen.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
How big is this phasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
He leaves the conclusion up to you.
Seems puny, to be honest.
Yeah, just a forearm. Why are you so interested in the stick bug? It doesn't seem to be as colorful as some of the other cryptids I've heard about.
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for.
He flashes you a sideways smile.
Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of any cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defenses, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
He shakes his head. What have you discovered about it so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
So no one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
True. He holds up an index finger.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
The cryptozoologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
It's clear that his obsession with the phasmid is driven by something more than the pure pursuit of scientific advancement.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Lena said that there had been a sighting of it here in Martinez.
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
So maybe the Insulindian phasmid has died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
He shakes his head vigorously. Parthenogenesis?
Yes. The females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
That's pretty clever.
Yes. The Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist...
Oops.
Well, very little. Not yet. I know...
It's clear...
By which I mean, I have to resist the thought... Yes. The female nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions.
Tell me
As a
more about these
scientist,
traps.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Lena designed the traps?
Yes.
He says with some pride. How do the traps work?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out.
Okay.
At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
You're using locusts as bait? What are you using as bait?
Locusts.
Yep.
Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
A carnivorous stick insect? Seems unlikely.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
Okay.
Not a big fan of skepticism, this one.
I'm used to seeing skepticism spelled with a K, not a C, but okay. What will you do if these traps don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear the cryptozoologist's wife knows what she's doing.
Let me ask you about something else.
Yes. What?
How did you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
Fair enough.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up, if you prod a little.
So you're living your childhood dream out here?
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Have you ever discovered a cryptid?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
So how many cryptids have been found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes.
Okay, but what have been confirmed as real?
2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have been proven to be real?
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Yugograd, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves. More so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Who out of 4,000 is not even 1%? Let's be nice to the man. Not approvingly. Then the Insulindian phasmid will be the 3rd.
Indeed. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu. It will be a zoological miracle.
He does not smile, just looks you in the eye.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
Why not just be a zoologist? Real animals are puzzling too.
Real? I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
Honestly, being a cryptozoologist trumps most of the garbage I've seen people do.
My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
Fair enough. Has anything truly surprising ever happened to you?
No. As I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying.
Okay. It's a little different, the voice line and the actual text.
Interesting. Something for later, this close call.
What kinds of evidence do you use?
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
Yeah, you have to.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
You think other scientists don't listen to ordinary people enough?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Thanks for explaining that. Now, about something else.
Yes?
Let's talk about specific cryptids.
All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
He eyes you skeptically.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it. You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
Okay. Which cryptid did you almost catch? You said before that you almost caught one.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialist would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
What are willow people?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
He says it in a self-explanatory, everyday manner.
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
Wait, so I might have seen these willow people without knowing it?
You probably have.
And how did you almost catch a willow person?
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paints. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
He smirks.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone than to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined. Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
He makes it a real point here to sound falsifiable.
I know all about the kind green ape. Look, I even have this kind green ape pen. Take out the pen.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites.
He smiles.
A warm wave passes him. Of course, the kind green ape is her favorite, he thinks.
Because she's kind. They do have a nice, loving relationship. I appreciate that.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm, though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful, but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
Oh dear. He was probably saying racist things, of course.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morel. I had no problem with them.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is, but we digress.
They're a nascent culture. I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters, or whatever.
He mumbles something.
Yes, back to cryptozoology. You don't want to sow disagreement between friends.
I know about the most dangerous cryptid, the gnome of Jeroma.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
Living? No.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
That does sound scary, because moose on their own are very scary already. The dread moose?
Yes. The dread moose subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Hold on, does it also attack people?
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
Okay. What does the dread moose look like?
Just like an ordinary Arden moose.
Then how can you tell if it's the ordinary or the dread kind?
You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
A moose that looks like any other moose. What's going on here? He's kidding, right?
I'm not completely sure about this dread moose.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more.
What's the other evidence?
The recent surge in the moose population. As hidden carnivores, the dread moose are effectively removing competition for both themselves and their evolutionary cousins.
But why would it need to hide its carnivorous nature?
Moose are already being hunted for sport. can you imagine what would happen if they came to be viewed as predators?
So what exactly is the relationship between carnivorous moose and the regular moose, then?
Moose are already being hunted
Oops.
for sport. The carnivorous moose are a very young species, the result of a genetic mutation that fared well in the process of natural selection. It makes sense that such a majestic animal with natural weapons, antlers, would come to rule the forest. The only strange thing is that it took so long.
Are there any reliable eyewitness accounts of a moose killing other animals for food?
One slaughterhouse at the outskirts of the woods in Vasa reported that its staff kept seeing moose in the distance. The moose would just stare at the building, as though they were waiting for something, its eyes bloodshot and full of cruelty.
That does sound suspicious.
And that's not all. Some of the slaughterhouse apprentices went hiking by a nearby creek and saw a moose nibbling on an unidentified carcass.
This isn't something unique. Various species of deer have been known to scavenge when plant food is scarce.
Fair.
Anyway, there is more than enough evidence to justify a thorough search for the dread moose. Let's close the subject before it turns into an argument.
Here is a man who has had more than his fair share of heated arguments and would, surprising as it may seem, prefer not to have any more.
I know the biggest cryptid, the giant of Coconur.
That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes?
Have you seen it?
I haven't had a chance to travel to Coconur. No, and I likely never will. The Samaskill desert region has been embroiled in a small civil war for the last 8 years.
Well, that doesn't sound very good.
I fear this mindless barbarism may have wiped out the elusive creature entirely. Sightings of towering luminosities have grown rare recently, while they once used to be constant.
Yes, sightings of mirages are constant. A mirage is a constant phenomenon that people have no time to report when a war is going on.
Fair.
It remains unclear what this has got to do with you seeing it, as he was inquiring before. He was just being defensive.
I know about Cryobacter catlensis.
Oh, everyone knows about that one, thanks to Professor Mijanu being the talk of the town for a time.
He coughs in his fist.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler, no one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nong-Ok.
The non-Ok?
A flightless cursor owl found in the Seminine Isles. Its long legs permit the Nong-Ok to run faster than any other avian, perhaps any other animal, who knows? When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the Ok hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on hapless prey below on the jungle floor. Mijanu liked extreme animals, you see. One of the few figures of the academic establishment I respect. Really a shame she disappeared.
When did she disappear?
Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. A chasm of academic pretension still stood before us, even though she had unusual courage for someone from the other side.
Just tell me about a cool cryptid. Any cryptid.
No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories.
I've already asked her about stories.
Me? I'm not a people person.
Fair enough.
Unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
Enough tales then. Let's change the subject.
By all means.
Did you know that Gary was hiding in the armor? Or did you know that Gary was hiding the armor?
Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him. He's got his quirks, but dishonesty, disloyalty are not one of them.
Thanks.
The man mutters in the distance. He doesn't dare say more.
He's still glad his friend stood up for him.
Fair enough. Lena seems pretty eager for you to return.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morel. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Won't let Lena down? Sounds like the cryptozoologist's wife shares a special connection to the Phasmid somehow.
I didn't know that the Phasmid was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Oh.
She's seen it?
Really? She sighted the Phasmid? She didn't tell me that.
Yes. That's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
He coughs, then continues. I will ask her for that story.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious Phasmid.
Absolutely.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian Phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Another cough into his fist this time. Maybe you should go back to the whirling, warm up, and can then come back to check the traps later.
No. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the Phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
What if we check the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
He looks at you with obvious surprise. Kim is not going to be happy about this. Cryptozoology and detective work are very similar.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Where are these traps?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near.
He points south.
Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them...
He gestures to the trap in front of him.
You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
What, aren't you having fun?
Even relative to examining a week-old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about in the reeds qualifies as fun. But have it your way, detective.
If you think it's important, you have been right before.
True. What do I do if there's a Phasmid in one of the traps?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
What if I encounter the Phasmid in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do,
he takes out a small white spray can.
Mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me.
Wise choice.
He douses you with the odd-smelling spray and then gives you a satisfied nod.
It's not so different from the putrefaction of the hanged man, actually.
So it sounds like rot. It smells like rot? Great.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
He looks at the lieutenant with disdain, then puts the spray back in his pocket. I'm ready, let's get to it.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the whirling.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
I'll get going.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Bruder.
The what? Sounds like my stomach is growling.
Evening falls. The time has come to take the vow.
Vows?
The vows of blood and flesh.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism, though?
Many things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revishal's problems?
I thought you were my circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Bruta. We're talking about the weakest, worst, most insane thing. The weak link.
Financiers?
Yes, them. But also, women.
Women?
Women. Men of war. You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
Disclaimer. The statements in this video do not necessarily reflect the player.
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Where did this come from? What the hell? Am I having some kind of stomach seizure?
Stomach truth. You're having a stomach truth.
Why am I getting this?
Because you've said the hard things that others won't say. The good things, you've said them many times.
When? I don't feel like I said anything like that recently. Okay, stomach, I've made up my mind. I'm just gonna skip some of this. No, I'm not. Let me at least explore the options. Fascism sounds so bad, though. What if we call this something else, like traditionalism?
Okay. Yes, let's call it that. Good thinking. That sounds much better. Traditionalism. You like the sound of that.
Okay, stomach, I've made up my mind about fascism.
You're going to keep your views, right? Keep your views, Brota.
Absolutely not. I am not going to be played by an upset stomach.
There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
Deal with it. Okay, I would like to fast travel back. Can I please go back to the dead man? Because I can bag him, and then go back to sleep at the shack. And Kim will have basically not left at all, and I'll be all set. Can I port back yet? Nope. Hello?
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Lieutenant, can you make out what's inside? Point at the windows.
No. I won't even try. You know...
He shakes his head. The windows rattle in their frames. He takes his glasses off.
I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Can you still shoot, though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Okay, good to know. Who can I call? I just noticed I can actually click on the telephone. So, the payphone, I mean. So who can I call? And can I port back yet? Nope. Still on the boardwalk. I haven't gone to this section yet, but there's a lot to look at. What is this?
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
I think this is the jacket the idiot Doom Spiral guy wanted me to find.
I'm sure he'll be thrilled to have it returned.
The lieutenant looks at the stinking rag and sniffs. Filthy jacket. Yeah. And I can interact with it, apparently. This filthy rag has been at the mercy of the elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. You can't even tell what brand it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it?
No, but I will.
Some secrets are better left uncovered. Don't even try. Seriously.
Think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Gross.
Why? Why did you think about it? Look at your hands. They're covered in muck.
Ew, ew, ew. Flick my hands. Now it's gonna go in my face.
Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Wonderful. Great. Fascinating. I'm sure Kim is entertained. So who can I call with this?
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
I'm sitting on $30. I'm down for it. Pick up the handset.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
He just said it's inoperable, but it says it is operable. Anyway, put 10 cents in and dial a random number. 005-2403-155.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. I might be. What's Pierre like?
So nice of you to find the time to call me. It gets so lonely. Even the animals have died.
That's not good.
Are you sure you're Pierre? Your voice, it's different. There. Chrysanthemum.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects.
That was weird.
You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Alright, throw in a random number again. 10 cents in, dial a random number. 005-51-17912.
Calling. Still calling. Again? Seriously? Someone with a masculine voice picks up.
Hello, Gerard speaking.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, you're electricity.
Is electricity there? I need to speak with electricity, please.
No, but I got a feeling Al Kick Your Ass is gonna make an appearance if you ever call this number again. Have a good one, asshole.
Okay.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect tone.
One more.
Calling, calling, calling. Still calling. Still calling.
Stop calling me, man.
Someone picks up. The voice on the other end is slightly hysterical.
I'll get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work.
You seem to be in some sort of trouble. Maybe I can help you. I'm a police officer.
The phone gets hanged up fast as lightning. All you hear is a little shuffle of nylon as the hand moves on the other end. Disconnect tone.
Kim lets you know the lieutenant is ready to move now. I've done 3 calls. Let's go down to an even 30.
Calling.
I'm tired.
A man answers, fast this time. His voice is coarse from cigarettes. You hear typing in the background.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
I'm tired too. What are you tired of?
Writing. I hate writing so much. But I have to get back to it.
The man disappears with a sigh. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone, just silence in the handset. The machine is still waiting for you to dial a number. Seems like it did not have time to swallow the coin. This sometimes happens. Lucky you. The call went too fast for the payphone to register. You can still make a new one without paying.
Uh-oh. 92%. Sorry, cop. White Murning. 92%. Go!
You close your eyes and put your index finger on the rotary dial. Then pull down on the number. Then move one up and repeat the motion twice. Strange. This is not how you started before.
Keep dialing.
414447. The rotary dial feels cold from the sea air.
Keep dialing.
1117361. Your fingers keep moving like a spider. Every time the ring rotates back with a little ring of metal, like a bell tolling.
There's more?
Yes. 451-67451. You are going deeper now, into some unknown place, far away from this island of matter and its telecommunication networks.
Finish it.
451. You have dialed God knows how many numbers. The headset has been waiting silently to relay a signal. Surely nothing can come of this, you think. But it does. A connection. An ultra-long distance call. Your air fills with a crackle, the wash of a strange ocean full of white noise. A little bird starts ringing in there, not like the local calling tone before. No, a small ring in a cage of distortion, far away. A distant network of phones, calling in the night. The saddest sound in the world. Both pitiful and terrifying. You feel your pulse rising with each ring. Calling still. The handset starts slipping from your sweaty palm. Your breathing is heavy.
Him.
The lieutenant is too far away to hear your yelp. The sea wind blows.
3% chance to hang up. Let it call more.
Calling still. Then the ocean breaks. Out of the depths, a woman's voice emerges. Small. The dearest thing you've ever heard.
Hello?
You sound sleepy. And also really distorted. Uh-oh. Hello. She hums, her voice warm from sleep.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Dora. Who is this? The connection is bad.
She's still confused.
Dora. The name feels like a gift. A gift that was meant for you. To make it possible to live. And fight.
I'm having a breakdown here.
In the distorted distance, you hear someone turning next to her. Bed springs rattle.
Is someone there?
No answer. You're not sure, but you think you hear a man's voice in the background. It's covered in pain and white noise.
Your voice is so beautiful.
No. It's you, isn't it? It's you.
She's waking up now. I can't tell you who I am. I have a secret plan to win mankind 3,000 years of peace on this planet. I have to be ominously vague.
You're not ominous, Harry. You're drunk.
Oh, you know me.
You only have 2, maybe 3 things left to say before the change runs out.
I'm not drunk or high, I'm just hurt. Why does it hurt to talk to you?
Oh, God.
There's silence, it's heavy as tin. The white noise howls. Hey.
Do you know what time it is? It's so late here.
Sounds like she's looking for a clock on the nightstand.
It's 4 o'clock, Harry. I need to wake up in 2 hours.
Where are you? You sound like you're in another world.
I'm in my rover, sleeping.
I want to talk about me. Who am I? You sound like you know me.
What do you want to talk about that we haven't talked about already?
This is bad. You feel your right hand on the handset cramping up with pain.
My heart hurts. I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Oh no. Please stop. Please, let's just hang up.
Where are you going in 2 hours?
To work.
Where?
The academy, where I work.
The academy? That sounds better than my job. I'm happy.
No response, only a sigh. The connection crackles like burning paper.
I am the law. I'm a detective. I'm doing a case. There's a hanged man.
She does not answer anymore.
I'm gonna solve it.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money.
So was that my lost love? Did I just have her number? I can dial it again.
You dial the number again. 26 pulls of the rotary dial. The machine eats the coin, and a terrifying ocean of distance rustles in your ear. In the middle of it, a familiar ring. Small, distorted, calling, 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 calling. It looks like she doesn't want to pick it up, Harry. Stop scaring her.
Why?
Come on, you know why.
Hang up.
The headset lands in the cradle with a clank.
Alright, leave. I wasn't expecting to ever actually talk to her. That was something. There's a lot that's been going on this episode. I think, though, that it's probably a good time for me to end it here. I hope that you enjoyed what you saw here today and that you're doing well wherever you are. This has been Karst with Disco Elysium. And next time, we're going to bag a body, go to sleep, and then move on to day 4. Have a wonderful day, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.